Let's have analysis. Ayan. Dinalian ko na nga yung test niyo sa problem solving. Tama ba? Kaya nga siya ng calculator lang. Tama, Mr. Perenya? Easy here. Ayan. Nang ka-calculator nga lang si Mr. Perenya eh. Tapos history yung isi-send niya. History. Pwede ba naman yun? Mag-accept ba naman yun? Teacher na history ng calculator yung isi-send mo. Ikaw talaga. Anyway, okay lang naman kasi nga addition, subtraction lang siya. Hindi lang siya. Pero again, you should always show the proper way of solving it. Diba? Lahat ng mathematics teacher require you to submit solutions kahit na plus, minus, times, divide lang siya. Yeah. Okay. Sige, ask you. Sige. Wala akong nakitang excuse letter ha. Hindi kayo you should not turn your cameras off. Kasi wala naman kayong na-present na excuse letter.
Sir, lumipat po ako sa phone. Sir, naka-open na po sa kanyang gem.
Screenshot. Ayan. Okay. So, sige, pwede nyo naman i-on yung, open din yung Genyo nyo to verify yung, pero mahirapan kayo maghanap-hanap. Unless naka-on talaga yung, or naka-enable yung displaying ng answers.
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, sa quarterly po ba yan?
Yes, oo, quarterly tayo, quarterly. Absent? Sino yun? Nandito siya kanina, nawala. Nawala. Dapat na-admit ko na yun eh. Nawala siya. So, sige. True or false? Every organization, regardless of its nature, must keep records of its transactions. Of course, true. Next. Every economic entity should keep track of its accomplishments and the sacrifices involved to realize them. So again, when we say accomplishments, these are benefits received, these are revenue, these are expenses. So ano naman yung mga sacrifices? These are costs, also referred to as expenses in the business. So yung mga yan ang kailangan i-sacrifice for you to gain benefits or for you to achieve accomplishments like goals and objectives. The three types of business organizations are single proprietorship, partnership. It's supposed to be what? Single proprietorship, partnership, and corporations. Meron pa nga isa yan eh. Pang-apat, associations. katulad ng mga charities, yung mga churches na yung nagsulputan, meron silang fund na nire-reach. Those are associations. Yan. Next, records of economic activities are kept only by business firms. So, not only false po, what are the other users of financial statements? So, syempre, the government needs it. Pero confidential lang, of course. The data presented, the information submitted must be must remain confidential. Next. Strict adherence to accounting standards in the Philippines has made accounting reports reliable and, as a consequence, has attracted international investors to the country. Of course, through strict adherence. There should be strict application, strict execution ng mga accounting standards. In this way, it will the business will help them parang provide yung mga proper rules and regulations na ina-apply nila sa kanilang business with the help of, syempre, accounting standards. Kailangan strict. Next. Without realizing it, every individual must have knowledge of bookkeeping, for he must keep track of all the accomplishments and the sacrifices involved. Of course, true. So kahit nga kayo as individual tayo, rather, we should have the enough knowledge. Meron dapat tayong mathematical skills that we apply para makapag-solve, di ba, ng mga basic bookkeeping or accounting problems. Na using yung equation, you can identify if you as an individual is earning, if a certain business is gaining, and so on. Every businessman must have adequate proficiency in the business. In the business, adequate proficiency in the use of double entry bookkeeping system. By being so, he can visualize the possible effects of whatever decision he makes on the results of operations and financial position. Of course, true. Kailangan proficient and knowledgeable sa double entry bookkeeping. Again, when you say double entry bookkeeping, merong double effects, merong dual effects sa transactions. Say example. So let's have, meron kang expenses na 1 million pesos. And then, meron kang revenue or earnings na 2 million pesos. So, if you do not apply the double entry bookkeeping system on your accounting or on your bookkeeping, or in general in your business, you will not know that these two accounts will have an impact or an effect on your owner's equity. Bakit? Ano bang effect ng revenue and expenses sa owner's equity? Kasi the expense here, 1 million pesos, is a deduction to the owner's equity. Ayan ang effect ng expenses na 1 million pesos sa owner's equity. Deductions. Or it will decrease the amount in the owner's equity. And so, pakicopy po, this is very important on your notebook. Ano namang effect ng revenue sa owner's equity? The effect of revenue sa owner's equity is that the owner's equity will increase or this 2 million pesos is an addition to the owner's equity. Okay? Iyan yung effect niya. Ibig sabihin, the double entry bookkeeping system should be applied and kailangan i-execute siya sa system ng accounting. Ibig sabihin, nakikita mo yung effect or yung impact if there are inflow and outflow ng pera na katulad ng expenses at ng revenue. Meaning, itong 1 million pesos na ito, hindi lang siya basta expenses. Itong 2 million pesos na yan, hindi lang yan basta revenue. Both accounts have an impact sa owner's equity. Okay? That's the idea or yung sense ng double entry bookkeeping. Hindi lang siya natatapos as that these are our expenses and those are our revenues. Both two has an effect sa owner's equity. And that is owner's equity decreases if there are expenses. And so with owner's equity increases kapag merong revenue. What are the other accounts na that makes owner's equity decrease? Withdrawals. So dalawa, expenses and withdrawals makes the owner's equity lesser. Okay? Bumababa ang amount or yung value ng owner's equity kapag merong expenses. Kapag merong withdrawals. And on the other hand, it makes the owner's equity increase. It makes the owner's equity higher if there is revenue. And also, another account that will make the owner's equity higher is the capital. Revenue and capital makes the owner's equity higher. So, itong dalawang to ang ina-add sa owner's equity, revenue and capital. And on the other hand, expenses and withdrawal makes the owner's equity lower. Pinapababa yung value ng owner's equity. Yun ang nagiging effect ng revenue, expenses, capital at withdrawal sa owner's equity. In that sense, you apply the double entry bookkeeping system. Meron siyang two-fold effect. Okay? Hindi lang siya, again, basta expenses, meron siyang effect sa owner's equity. Hindi lang siya basta revenue, meron siyang additions sa owner's equity. Okay po, naintindihan? Next. An error in bookkeeping can result in distorted information and consequently not success, failure in the business. Ayan. False po ang answer. The error in bookkeeping, magiging success ng business? No, of course. Ito ay magiging failure ng business. Next. For academic purposes, an account is considered material even if the amount is very small because of the accessibility of the information. Of course, true. Kahit nga 'di ba yung sa algebra natin, kahit na maliit yung, let's say, yung value ng isang variable, 'di ba? You will know that there's still a value. Kahit maliit yung amount, maliit yung value or yung equivalent ng variable na yun. It's still merong value, 'di ba? X, algebra na si Miss. Let's say 2 or A is equals to negative 5. There's still value. Okay? Meron siyang kahit negative. O yan, negative. Merong losses. And then merong gains. Even the value is little or small. Ayan. Next, all business entity owners are personally liable for the debts of the business in accordance with sound accounting information. False po. 63.16. So again, the owners is no longer liable sa mga debts or utang ng business. The business is now has the liability sa mga utang niya or kanyang mga obligations. Kasi anong sabi sa accounting standards? Kailangan the owners has its now distinct and separate identity from the business. Separate na siya from the business itself. Hiwalay na po ang identity ng owners. You cannot sue the owners, you sue the business. And not the owners. Next, in accounting and legal points of view, ayan, ito yun, an owner of a single proprietorship, business enterprise, it's a distinct and separate entity from the business. Ayan na po, yung sinabi ko, distinct and separate entity from the business. Separate na po sa sole proprietorship, separate na ang identity ng owners. Ito, from the legal point of view. Next, the profit and loss statement is the other name for balance sheet, the latter being an alternative item. So, pag sinabing profit and loss system, ito yung income statement. Kapag balance sheet, you cannot use the terms interchangeably. Pag balance sheet, ito yung asset equals liability and equity, or the so-called financial statement of position. Financial statement of position or operation. Next, expenses will increase the owner's capital account and also increase the results of operation. False. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina na may effect ang expenses sa owner's equity. It will not increase the owner's equity. It will make owner's equity lesser and also increase the results of operation. Next, any supporting evidence is acceptable for BIR checking purposes. Not any. Pwede bang mag-submit lang ng scratch paper and then maglagay ka lang doon ng expenses, sorry. So, going back. So, hindi pwedeng any document or any evidence. BIR will not accept it. What is the main evidence that BIR will accept? Anyone? Ano yung pinaka hinihingi ng BIR for verification, for proof na you are giving the right amount sa mga customers or clients, you are giving your customers or clients the exact number of products. Ano yung sa tingin yung pinaka-evidence o na kailangan ng BIR to check and verify yung operations ng business? Anyone?
Receipts?
Correct. Receipts. Correct po. Mr. Ganya, receipts. These evidences, this document will give BIR an idea to check if you are giving your customers, yung clients nyo, ng tamang products, ng tamang amounts, ng if they are parang giving you yung, or you are paying the right amount of taxes and so on. The receipts, the official receipts is parang main document na kailangan or evidence to prove na, di ba kaya nga, di ba laging sinasabi, please, get your official receipts, always have your receipts with you, hihingi kayo lagi. In that way, it will make yung mga makakapag-submit rather ng mga tamang amounts yung mga businesses sa BIR. Nakuha niyo yung point? Di ba meron mga 3 copies yan ng receipts? Kung meron kayo nakita, meron yung blue, red I think, and the white one. Yan, 3 iba-ibang copies yan. Sasubmit mo sa government, sasubmit mo sa BIR, o yung isa copy ng customer, meron pa nga copy ng, and then copy ng, BIR. Sasubmit. Iba-iba yan. Copies nila yan. And then the business copy. In that sense, ito yung proof or evidence na you are giving your customers or clients the proper amount they are paying for. Ganon din sa sa taxes. They total your gross earnings, they total your gross revenue, and then computed for the proper amount ng inyong tax with the proper amount ng inyong gross income. Depending sa inyong gross income. Ganun ang tax. So, kaya yung iba, mga business, hindi nagde-declare ng kanilang tamang amount. Kasi, in that sense, bababa yung kanilang taxes na babayaran. Nakuha nyo, class? Kapag mataas kasi yung revenue ng isang business, mataas din yung kanyang tax na babayaran. Whereas, kapag mababa lang yung dinedeclare mo na amount or earnings or income ng business mo, ganito lang yung computation ng BIR para sa inyo. That's why the BIR always require businesses to provide or give receipts sa mga customers or clients. Okay po. Hope that's clear. A family should also keep records of earnings, expenses, savings, and investments. Yan. True din po. There are different users of financial statements. However, the bookkeeper should transact rather in a way that will favor the owner or the owners of a business. Yan, false po. Dapat transparent yung lahat ng ni-record ni accountant or ni bookkeeper sa kanyang transaction. Next, under the double entry bookkeeping system, records kept of cash receipts and disbursements and major transactions are merely noted. Yan, false. Yan, you should not just keep track sa cash receipts and disbursements lahat. You should also keep track of your lahat investments, withdrawals, lahat ng bank accounts. Kasi all those have an effect sa bookkeeping system. Lahat yan merong epekto. Kaya siya po. Hindi lang sa cash receipts and cash disbursement. Next, the life of a business is assumed to be divided into accounting periods for the purpose of preparing the periodic financial statements. Ano ulit? Pag sinabing accounting periods, it may be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. Ayan. The property of the family of a business proprietor may be considered as property of the business even if it is not invested in the business. You will only consider a property in the business if it is invested. Okay, you will only consider property, plant, and equipment value if those are invested in the business. Nonetheless, walang effect. Yung mga personal property, hindi po siya kino-consider as property ng business kung hindi ininvest ng owner. Certified public accountants belong to a profession of recognized standing. Next, let's move to multiple matching type. The government office that regulates professional practice in the Philippines is under PRC or Professional Regulation Commission. Ano pa yung aside from bookkeeper and accountant, ano pa yung mga profession under PRC? Doctors, nurses, engineering, architecture, teachers, and so on. The excess of revenue over expenses. The excess ng revenue over expenses is net income. Obligation to pay, those are liabilities. Anything of economic value are considered assets. Recording phase of accounting, we call that, of course, bookkeeping. The parties to whom the business has payables, creditors. Creditors yung nagpapautang sa inyo. On the other hand, ang tawag dun sa pinautang ay debtors. Ito yun. The parties from which the business has receivables, kung sino yung nakaka-receive, debtors, kasi siya yung nangutang. So, on the point of view, kapag ikaw naman ang nagpautang, ang tawag sa'yo, creditor. Okay? Yung pinautang mo, you call that debtor. Okay? It shows the result of operations, the income statement. Next, it shows the financial position of the business. Okay ha, wag malilito. Operation ay income statement. Kapag position, balance sheet. Okay, or financial statement position. Or may isa pa dyang term, or condition. Financial statement position or financial statement condition. Or balance sheet. Cost of doing business. Those are expenses. So far, meron bang corrections? This one, accounts payable, ito yung term to identify na ito ay liability account. Ito po, payable. Accounts payable is under liability account. On the other hand, receivable naman, these are asset account. On account yan, on account. Kasi hindi pa nare-receive ng business yung payment from the customer or client, those are accounts receivable. Nakakasunod pa ba, class, or inaantok na? Kaya pa?
Sure, nakakasunod pa.
Nakakasunod pa. Ayan. Okay. Sige, sayang yung mga corrections. Kahit na 1, 2, 3 points lang yan. It will add up to your grades. Next. This one, furniture and fixtures. All are assets. Katulad ng sofa, table, aircon, that will make the workplace parang pleasing and comfortable. So, lahat ng mga ginamit sa work area or sa workplace, those are assets. This one, service income. These are revenue. Meron pang ang clue dun sa sa Genu. Di ba yung parang pag maliit yung ganyan, tama ba ako? Or ako lang ba? Kapag maliit yung box, pag i-encodean mo, therefore, maliit yung answer. Tama ba? And then, pag ganyan, medium yung answer. Alam niyo yun? Anyways, ako lang ata. Ayan, 'di ba, no? Meron yang ganyan eh. So, let's say, ang pagpipilian mo lang, equity. Tapos liability. Therefore, itong pinakamahaba. Dito mo siya lagay. Ganon siya. Anyways. Ayan. So, depreciation of a delivery van. Delivery van is an asset title, also known as vehicle. Therefore, depreciation is an expense. So, example, vehicle amounting to 100,000 pesos. Paano nasabi na ang depreciation ay isang expense? Kasi deduction siya. So, copy again the asset that is being depreciated dash depreciation. So, extend that. So, palagi yan, nilalagyan siya ng hyphen or dash, and then you encode the word depreciation. Let's say, nagde-depreciate itong particular asset na to, which is the vehicle, ng 5,000 pesos per month. Okay. Therefore, yung total value na lang ng vehicle mo on the second month, after you bought it, hindi na siya 100,000. It will now be vehicle 95,000 pesos na lang ang ire-record sa iyong asset. Tama? Nasundan? Dinidepreciate, bumababa ang value, so the amount of that certain asset will no longer be that same amount. It is being depreciated by deducting the depreciation amount of 5,000 pesos per month. Now becomes 95,000 pesos from 100,000 pesos. Okay, ganyan po ang entry. Vehicle 100,000 dash vehicle dash depreciation 5,000 pesos. Sa ano to? Sa asset equals liability plus owner's equity. So, kapag may depreciation title, hindi mo ilalagay yung depreciation under liability. Saan siya? Anong effect niya sa equation? You deduct the depreciation from the asset. Dito naman ang effect ng depreciation. Hindi ka magre-record sa liability. Nakuha? Hindi ka magre-record ng depreciation under the liability account. You will deduct the depreciation amount sa particular na asset na lumiliit ang value. Naka-state yan sa lahat ng mga magiging given. Okay, naka-state yan sa transaction. Kung anong particular asset ang nagde-depreciate. Next, unexpired insurance. Meaning, pag sinabing unexpired, meaning the insurance is active. Ibig sabihin, continuous ang payment ng business sa kanyang insurance policy. Sa insurance company. Okay? Those are assets. Next, rentals for space occupied by a laundry shop. Rentals, these are expenses. Let's say the business does not own a place or a property para doon siya mag-operate ng business. Wala siyang ganun. Therefore, kailangan niya mag-rent to have space enough sa kanyang mga products, sa dami ng kanyang employees. Yung payment na pinangbabayad niya or yung fee para doon sa rent na yon, those are expenses. Next, supplies used. Yung mga nagamit na. Property equipment, acronym para dyan or yung initial ay PPE. So, una kasi paano ba yun? Parang sinusort or naka-classify yung mga assets. Nakatulad ng machinery and equipment, furniture and fixtures, building, land, and so on and so forth. This time, pinagsama-sama na siya. P as property, another P as plant, and E here is the equipment. So, yan na mismo yun. Yung total amount niya, let's have 2,079,320. O yan, yung total property, plant, and equipment asset amounting to 2 million. Ayan na yun. Okay. Meron pa ba? Madami pa. Equity. So, capital, again, dalawa lang yan. Ang owner's equity, maybe meron kayong answer na owner's equity. It will be considered. Pwede rin OE, pwede rin. It can be accepted. Ayan, capital, dalawa lang yan. Capital at withdrawal. Ayan lang ang owner's equity title. Ayan, kaya pa. Drawings, ayan, this one. These are withdrawals. Those are equity. Next, legal fees earned by the business. As you can see, earned. Earned ng business. Therefore, these are revenue. Prepaid expenses, again, ito lang ang title na may expenses sa kanyang term na asset. Examples, prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, you pay the amount ahead of time. Ayan, kaya siya tinawag na prepaid. You continuously pay the amount even if hindi pa siya nagagamit. Amounts earned by the employees. So this time, earned by the employees. Kanina, earned by the business. Ito, earned by the employees. Meaning ito, sweldo. Oh, these are salaries and wages. On the point of view ng business, these are expenses. Obligations to suppliers for foods and services rendered. Yan, from the term obligations, those are liabilities. Sanitation and health inspection fees, those are expenses. Of course, you will not be given permits and licenses to operate without the barangay, the municipio inspecting your facilities kung safe at healthy ba yung environment para sa yung magiging customers and clients. So yung payment o yung fee para dyan sa inspection na yon are expenses ng business. Ano pa? Land acquired. O yan, land. May sariling property yung business. Those are assets. Kaya pa. Ayan. Tapusin na natin. Obligations, again, those are liabilities. Profit from sale of goods, yung kinita sa pagbenta ng mga produkto. Okay? On the previous acquired for sale, those are revenue. And structures or edifices like building, acquired for use of the business, those are assets. Okay. Any more questions? If you have corrections so far, pwedeng